I opened my eyes. What did I see? A new picture from Big BG. Good morning. I hope all is well on this beautiful Sunday morning. Guys, Bearableguy has changed his Twitter page. It looks like he's up, awake, and is bright and is beautiful in color. And also he updated the top of his wall. It looks like the bricks are coming down and the XRP spinning. But what's interesting about this post right here, guys, is did you come along for the ride and witness the shaking of the Cryptosphere as foretold? And also, guys, we're also going to cover this too. Interledger is the new world bank by J.C. Collins. Now, I highly recommend reading this. We are going to go in detail on some of the things that jumped out at me. It's a must read, I'm telling you. I will link J.C. Collins' Twitter page in the description. And I hope he doesn't get upset at the way I cover this, because there's some things that jumped out at me here that, you know, it's just screaming BG stuff. It's just screaming, you know, and I don't think, I just hope he doesn't take it in the wrong way, the way I, you know, crisscross the information here. It's just really interesting the way he wrote it. So we'll cover that. But first we'll start with this, and then we're going to jump to that and come back. Okay, guys, so this is Bearableguy's new post right here. Well, when it first starts is, did you come along for the ride or witness the shaking of the Cryptosphere as foretold? Bearableguy, December 19th.
The role of the disruptors and anything that is using distributed ledger technology, whether you call it crypto assets, currencies, or whatever, and it's far from the bitcoins that we used to talk about a year ago. That is clearly shaking the system, shaking the system,
Shaking the system.
shaking the system.
I'm sorry about that, guys, if that scared you right there. But one thing I did pull up, guys, is Bearableguy's manifesto. Link in the description. Also, hello, friends. As I have said before, Bearableguy123 is a jester, not a financial advisor. Did you come along for the ride and witness the shaking of the Cryptosphere as foretold? The great gashing of the teeth and tearing of the clothes continues to this day. The crypto markets are in a dizzy tailspin, but XRP holders remain strong and steady and resolute. The PTB, the direction of the king, do not like the positive, incredible accomplishments that Ripple has achieved. The hand continues to throw distractions in Ripple's path as other coins flounder. XRP is still forging ahead. Okay, guys, that's really interesting. I'm going to jump to this right here. J.C. Collins, the Interledger is the new world bank. Now, guys, this is a really, really well written blog here. J.C. Collins, for years now, the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, International Monetary Fund, IMF, G20, and the Financial Stability Board, FSB, have all been working together on developing the best alternative to the role of the USD as primary reserve asset used in the global monetary system. The challenge has been to find a supernova sovereign asset, which is an asset not owned or anchored to the domestic economy of any nation, with enough global liquidity to function as a base or a bridge asset for full global framework. Now, we're going to jump around through this a little bit, guys. I highly recommend reading this from beginning to end, but I'm going to go to some things that jumped out at me. The nations and institutions who have been working on correcting these imbalances, which includes America. We're considering expanding the use of special drawing rights, is the SDR. Now, if you're not familiar with the SDR, guys, it's called special drawing rights. It's the basket of currencies by the top nations. Like, for example, you might have the Russian currency in there. You got the USD in there. You got the Japanese yen in there. Pretty much the most popular nations are the ones that's doing the best, we'll say. Following the SDR was the development of the OPEC. We're going to skip that right there. It's just hard for some to wrap their heads around the world, which is quickly emerging on a day-to-day basis. For the last 5 years, I have been writing about the SDR and the need for nations and global institutions to come together and engineer an alternative to USD. So that's really interesting right there. Since at least the 1600s, or as far back as time, something I call the crown beast has been moving around the world from empire to empire. With the establishment of the first central bank in Amsterdam, this power has utilized the concept of reserve currencies to build a pathway for corridors and wealth and value to move from location to location. The Dutch held the reserve currency during the time of the Dutch Empire. The Spanish held the reserve currency during the Spanish Empire. The French held it during the French Empire. The British held it during the British Empire. America has held the reserve currency during a period which is undeniably defined as the American hegemonic and multilateral world dominance. At the end of each period, the crown beast, like a algorithmic Ouroboros. Now this is where it gets interesting, guys. Ouroboros devours its own tail. The thing to understand about Ouroboros is that the tail, which represents the past, the old, is now hidden inside the new. It vanishes inside the serpent. No, what's that remind me of, guys? Right here on the picture. It reminds me of the serpent right here on the picture. Phoenix Rising. We're going to get into that right there. It's worth pointing out that Ouroboros is not just represented as a serpent eating its own tail, but is also represented as a figure 8. Figure 8. There's the 8 right there on the King's sphere. And it gets more interesting than that, guys. Based on the above understanding, we can make determination that transformation of the USD into the crypto version would have same meanings as the Ouroboros, the owners of the ancient wealth who have been pulling the puppet strings of business. This is why, guys, I hope it doesn't mind the way I connected these, but it looks like to me that, a lot of things are being explained of the Bearableguy Castle to me. Very interesting scenario. I'm not saying JC Collins is Bearableguy. I'm just saying that, this blog is amazing, and, it just reminds me of Bearableguy work also a little bit. But it's very good work. He's on the right path here. Based on the understanding, the crypto version would have the same as the Ouroboros. The owners of ancient wealth have been pulling the strings. Banking and academic establishments which have built up around each empire and fiat currency will now manipulate the USD under crypto version, which will be on its own ledger. Now, if I'm not mistaken, guys, this is really interesting because now we're getting the reports that the IMF and the World Bank are coming out with their own cryptocurrency called the Learning Coin. Now, this is kind of interesting, guys, because one thing concerns me about that is, with the birth of blockchain technology, it pretty much is, making transactions transparent. But if these entities want to build their own in-house ledger, then, that's kind of like still on the same thing. We kind of want to shine some light on some of these old ways. The forthcoming USD ledger will have interact with other ledgers, with ledgers being the new banks. But first, another esoteric symbol which is worth considering is the Phoenix, the rise of the Pharaonic Empire from its ashes. The Phoenix. There's the Phoenix. There are huge challenges, but maybe we are not looking at the full picture. Okay, hold on. Bitcoin is the core of blockchain in the crypto world. It was the first of its kind. Some are suggesting that Bitcoin will be the new reserve currency which replaces USD. There are huge challenges with that, but maybe we are not looking at the full picture. Bitcoin is the core blockchain crypto world. The change which is just upon us will be so radical that the previous concepts such as reserve currency and foreign exchange reserves as well as capital flows will be completely redefined or will no longer be in use. We just assume that there will always be a new reserve currency. But what if there is no need for a reserve currency? What if there is no need for a foreign exchange reserves? What if capital flows no longer flow but integrate? Wow. The use of Bitcoin under a whole new crypto monetary framework could breathe life into the original blockchain asset. Both Bitcoin and USD will persevere for time being, but neither will be capable of providing function which a new global crypto monetary system will require. This is where the crypto asset XRP by Ripple comes into play. XRP will be capable of providing cross-border payment services measured in seconds at only fractions of a cent. What reserve currency have been doing for centuries, XRP will do that in thousands of times. XRP will do at 1,000 times the efficiency. Wow. Considering that ledgers are the new banks, the Interledger protocol for Ripple should create a lot of excitement as the one bridge function which connects all ledgers and allows for value to move around the world. And guys, this is what I've been saying, but basically the ledger itself is impressive. They are working on an interoperable system that's going to connect all ledgers. So whether you're an XRP fan or not, I do believe XRP ledger is going to be the base or the foundation for this new monetary system. You know, whether the IMF wants to come out with their own in-house ledger and the JP wants to come out with theirs, but no matter what, guys, all these ledgers are going to have to connect. The new global monetary framework, or the castle, so to speak, and the wealth within it, the castle. The new global crypto monetary framework, or the castle, so to speak, and the wealth within it will be managed and protected by the Interledger system, with the XRP serving as the bridge asset in a new exchange arrangement which will eliminate the imbalances and the inefficiencies associated with past fiat reserves. Those business bankings and academic interests have moved from empire to empire, will no longer have control as a fully decentralized XRP Interledger expands. Not even Ripple will have the influence or control over the Interledger once more non-Ripple validators are added. Each ledger which joins the Interledger can have its own validator. This means this would be the distribution of fairness within the architect. Now, while the decentralized XRP guards the castle's gate, the new crypto USD and Bitcoin, whose attempt to control and manipulate both, will not be allowed to corrupt the new global monetary system and cause an unfair, undeserved, and imbalanced movement wealth of value to the place which convenience them the most. Now, there was one more thing that wanted to jump out here, and guys, I'll link this in the description. I highly recommend you read it. It goes into here to the unpopular truth, which most do not see during the early time of adoption, is the total dominance which XRP will attain in the future. With payment apps and new micropayment industry emerging will come the time when needing anything other than XRP will be forgotten, such as don't tell the crown beast. Don't tell the crown beast. Don't tell the crown beast. Whoa. Interesting there, guys. It's also going to go into something about the spear. I missed that part. It also speaks of the spear in here, guys. I'm going to try to shorten this video. It speaks of the spear, and there's some other stuff in here too. I highly recommend guys reading this Interledger is the New World Bank. It's a hell of a it's amazing. It's an amazing scenario, guys, and I do see everything he's saying, that's for sure. And I will link JC Collins, link in the description. Now on to this, guys. Basically, when I woke up this morning, Bearableguy did share a new post right here. It looks like we have some French, because I think Christine Lagarde is French. I did see her speaking in French. IMF has been live streaming all weekend, or the last few days. It has been a very interesting time, guys. Also, guys, if you don't know, Bearableguy did show up at the Texas XRP meetup. Don't Stop Me Now, supporting the community, Ripple and XRP. There's the bear right there that he left on my table. Basically, Bearableguy messaged me and say, hey, check that bag on your table. I ran and got the bag, and this was the bear that was in the bag. Now, I think it does have something to do with people, or, something can't change their spots, or cryptos can't change their spots. I believe there's something with spots here. I'm not really sure, just from maybe previous conversations that me and the great one had. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure it out myself, guys. There's a lot of smart people out there that have a lot of good feedback that helps me with this kind of stuff. But one thing, guys, is the manifesto right here. At first, they thought nobody would be interested in this so-called fake centralized banker coin, as other coins tried to promote themselves as an alternative to fiat while offering no solutions for cross-border payments. Ripple continued to promote their technology, and XRP is a bridge and a solution for fiat, cryptocurrencies, and cross-border payments. The other coins thought they could beat the world system at their own game. The UN, central banks, IMF, Ripple knew the rules and showed them how their new technology and XRP combined with the old ways could work with them. The other coins and backers do not like this. Yep, they are currently trying to create new coins that supposedly will be better and faster and more convenient than XRP. But at the end, since 99.99% of them do not have the massive team like Ripple, they will end up being another 9-day wonder. Damn. Guys, this just jumped out at me right here, actually, and now we are starting to see that. Many institutions are trying to copy or mimic what Ripple has done, but they don't have a Joe Katz. They don't have a Big BG. They don't have a Brad Garlinghouse. Exactly, guys. The one coin with the incredible team behind it and a stalwart community. Keep a steady pace as they traverse the financial world, asking the governments and banks what regulations they can work with to make their technology and coins work for them. Wow, I'm trying to tell you guys, this is so amazing. I will link this in the description also, the manifesto. So guys, I just wanted to make a really quick video to let everybody know Big BG is back. It looks like he's back. It looks like he changed his wall, his picture. What do you guys think about that? And like I said, guys, I had to tie it in with this Interledger is the new world bank because this is right on the money. Also, but reading this, I don't know if I have my Bearableguy glasses on, but just Bearableguy stuff was jumping out at me. JC Collins, I will be, getting up with him. Like I said, it's all in fun, JC. I love your blog. I hope you didn't mind the way I, covered it. Much love, that's for sure. And it just reminded me so much of this picture, that's for sure. Okay, guys, the CKJ coin will come down right now. Smash that coin to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your time. I hope everybody's having an amazing Sunday. Much love. Mahalo.